Hello, everyone, and welcome to Empowering the Next Generation with me, Coach Helen. I am so grateful you're here with us today for another episode where we are here to ignite, to develop leaders, and create meaningful connections in school communities. You know that we are here to bring a difference, to also give you wisdom with experts that can help you in your journey and how you can actually be more effective and impactful in your community. And if you want to really turn your years of expertise from the classroom into a purpose-led business, I would encourage you to join my membership online so you can actually grow and learn how you can implement those skills so you can build a business for yourself. So today, let's talk about our guest speaker. Her name is Kelli Wyatt. Sorry, I'm trying with my French accent. So Wyatt. Okay, she's an educator, an author, an entrepreneur with 27 years of experience in the school district of Philadelphia. She's passionate about literacy, special needs, instructional leadership, and creating systems that help students and educators thrive. As an assistant principal and travel business owner, Kelly leads with purpose, equity, collaboration, and a commitment to meaningful growth. So today we will be drawing on her leadership and really trying to understand how she built herself, and also she created something called my leadership blueprint, and she's going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about beyond the to-do list and building a blueprint for intentional school leadership. So welcome on board, Kelly.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you for joining. I know that you're a busy lady. You have a lot on your CV, I would say. You are a travel business owner. You are an assistant principal. You are an author. You created your leadership blueprint. So this is what we're talking about today. So let's talk about that leadership blueprint.
Okay.
Okay. I know that you want to really focus on your 27 years of experience in education, and
hmm
you wanted to actually work on your own experience as well as a school leader. So I want you to share with us what are the challenges that you've repeatedly encountered that inspired you to create that blueprint.
So once you move beyond the classroom, like there are so many facets that you have to keep in mind, right? Um, the needs of the students and beyond the classroom, it's not just the 20 or 30 kids in front of you. I'm charged with a building full of students. So I got, it's data tracking, record keeping, parent meetings, teacher meetings, educational meetings. There are so many facets that tie into what we do once we get into the educational leadership. It started as an academic coach where I supported teachers. I was a literacy coach, again, supporting teachers, a school-based teacher leader, where it was like the principal and then myself. So it was
Mm,
about coaching teachers, watching data, going in and out of classroom for classroom visits. There were and district meetings, school-based meetings, right?
wow.
Um, there were so many hats that you had to wear, but I needed one place to put everything. So my leadership blueprint came from you needed more like it's this time of year where everybody's looking for a planner. Where can I keep all my meeting dates, like my to-do list, everything, right? But we need a little bit more when you're now beyond the classroom because it's not just about on Monday at 9 o'clock I have this meeting, Tuesday at 1 p.m. I have this training to give, or after school, professional development to give. You still have
Mm,
checkpoints and pulse points like what is the school's vision, mission? What are our yearly goals? Now, to get to that yearly goal, what do I have to do monthly? What do I have to do weekly? What's my priority focus? Who are my students who need a little extra love? A parent may have come in with a concern. Did I follow up with that parent? Like, where am I documenting everything? I needed one place. So that
mm.
when 2 weeks or a month from now, a parent come up and say, "Hey, I talked to you last week about Johnny," or on April 4th, I met with you and your team about this. I can go back to April 4th, not only just see the meeting, but the notes and the follow up. Did I follow up? What happened next? So that way I have it all in one space.
I love it. I
Mhm,
love it. It's so necessary because it really ties to the next question, really, because you are really talking about intentionality there. And I know
mhm,
that school leaders really often carry so much, as you said, for the needs of the student, the teachers, the families, the
mhm,
organizations. So sometimes, it can feel so overwhelming that now, how can, having this leadership system help leaders manage their responsibility without really consistently, feeling overwhelmed? How can they
Mhm.
manage? How can they do that?
So that's why I created it, right? Because it has the monthly check-ins. It's the lead, that anchor or that leadership pulse. Like, where are we right now? What worked well last month? What do I need to focus on, right? But within the weekly piece, there's still always a reflection piece. What happened? What needs my attention? Who do I have to check in with next week? So it's like it's just helping you just remain grounded in the work. Then in
Wow.
the next week, before you even get started with the actual planner part, it asks you, what's your three priority focus? Like, what's your focus for this week?
Nice.
What went well last week? What needs your attention? And then every so often, it's like I call them a blueprint moment where it just give you a minute to reflect. So it may ask you a question, or
Mm-hmm.
it may pose like, so in August it's about the beginning. Now, all right, what did you notice in September? Because now we had a month of beginning, right? Now
Yes.
September, you know, I look at August as all the things we said we were going to do. That's what we planned
Wow.
for, right? The school opening, the systems and routines. By the end of August, that second or third week, now we're going to see what's really working. Now, what do we do to respond? So that's what.
I
So
love
that's
that.
what. I guess the piece that was missing out of the traditional planner is that pulse, that check in, and to keep you grounded weekly to monthly, so you can hit that annual goal. And then at the end
Nice.
of the year, you'll have it all. It's like I have the book right here, so I'll keep looking at it. You have it all in one space. So now you can look back over the year to see what plans, what system you need to put in place for the following year, right?
I
Um,
like.
Heaven forbid you need to draw back on something because something happened earlier in the year. You'll have that as your blueprint, your Bible, so to speak, because all of your thoughts are right there for you in one space.
Yes, I like that. I like that. And I feel like I want you to really dive deeper a bit more about the fact that it's not just a planner, it's a leadership
Mhm.
blueprint. So I want you to speak about the difference that it makes and how does it help leaders connect with their daily responsibility, their bigger vision, their priorities, and their purpose.
What I did before we even get into the calendars, right? Before we get into September, I mean August, September, October, before we even get into the weeks, there's a whole section just for you. Your why, your goal for the year, your mission, like pretty much your declaration to what you want done this year. Like, what is it that you want to do? Why are you in this work? What's your goal for the year? Like, you have that. So that sets the tone from the very beginning. Then, when you get into each month, right, you'll have the monthly page where you could just jot notes down or meetings down really quick, right? But now you have that leadership pulse where you focus, like, what do you want to do this month? How do you want your students to feel? What do you want your staff to feel? What is a goal that you have for this month? And then you'll break it down weekly. So it's like while we keep the long range goals, we got to get there step by step. So that's what this actual blueprint is there to help you with, right? Because we often get caught up in, oh, my students have to increase by 3%. And you're focusing that, but we have the year to do that. Let's get that 1% this month, or let's focus on understanding the standards this month so that we can unlock something next month so we can get, everything is not right now. And
I like
it's funny, I was just talking to a teacher about it because she was stressing out over something, with pacing. And I said, listen, like we get caught up in a pigeonhole. They gotta get it right now. No, the standard is for the year. What
Mhm.
can we do to chop into it so we can reach it for the year? So taking it step by step. And that's what this blueprint does, is take it step by step and allow you to live in it. It allows you to interact with the work while you're doing the work, right? It allows you to stay grounded in what it is. What's your end game? How we gonna get
Mm.
there? We gotta take
I
one
lo
step. Yeah, one
I
step
love
at a
it.
time.
I love it. I love it. And I feel that, the fact that they can have the bigger picture, they can incorporate as well their values and who
Mhm,
they are. They can think about it. They can find about, they can just reflect. I love the fact that they can reflect on their
mhm,
leadership journey, on their
mhm.
leadership growth, even personally and as well for the year. So it's wonderful. And I feel that your blueprint is not only for assistant principal or principal? Is it for
Mhm.
everybody? Is it for
It
educators
is.
as well? I
It
think
is. It
it's
could be for the classroom teacher. It could be for the academic or department head, right? It could be
yes,
for this the what we call them specums, but the special ed head, right? Because they have so many meetings because they're over every IEP in the meeting. I mean, in the building. So it
yeah.
could be. It's not just for principals and assistant principals, but it can
Yeah.
go all the way up. It can
Yes,
go all
I
the way
think
up.
it's really good, really good. So let's dive into really understanding mission. How do we lead with mission? And I know that there is a difference between being busy and being effective. Okay, so how
Mhm.
can school leaders really determine whether they are simply managing tasks or actually leading with intention and creating meaningful impact? How can they do that?
One, you got to keep the student at the center. Is what I'm doing benefiting the students? How will this impact or benefit my students? Are my students growing? Is the school community thriving because of what we're doing, right?
Mm,
So when we talk about our mission of every student can learn, every student will be ready for high school because I'm in a K-8 school. Every student will be ready for high school, right? Every student will be ready. You know, the goal is for them when they graduate high school to either be college ready or career ready, right?
yes.
So when we think about the mission, we think about our vision, what we want for our students. Are the systems we putting in place, are they helping to get them there? Right? Am I setting it up so that every student can get what he or she needs to be successful now and later? And and be okay that success look different, right? So what Helen may need may be different from what Kelly may need. Am I
Mm,
setting an environment where both of them can thrive? Okay. And that's when it comes, that's when we talk about intention. Everything is student centered, everything is data based. So it's not, oh, these kids over here or their teacher. It's not if I like you or not. What does the data suggest and does it benefit our students? And that's how, if you keep that as your North Star, then you're doing the work that you signed up to do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So now I don't know if it's like a bonus question
Mhm.
from everything that you said. Okay, now let's talk about developing the next generation of leaders. Okay, so whether someone is an experienced administrator or an aspiring school leader or even an educator, what habits, systems, or mindset shift that you believe they need to develop now to become the kind of leader their students or their staff need?
Reflection is key, right?
Mm,
Um, when you're doing this work, we can't remember everything off the top of our head, and that's the whole reason for the actual blueprint, right? You have to keep notes. And it's funny because when I started in my leadership journey, somebody said keep a notebook. Get a
mm,
notebook every year. So that's kind of how I married the two. And it was like
wow.
jot down everything, in this notebook. If you have a meeting, come back from the meeting, jot a few, what happened. If something going on with a student or a teacher, make sure you just take a quick note. Like it don't have to be detailed, but just something. On this date,
Mm,
this time I met with, and this is what happened, right? Um, and then go back and read it. Or and then you use it too as things progress. You can always refer back to it. So now when it's time to follow up, it's like, okay, wait a minute, let me go back to see. I met with this person here, 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 right? So that was instrumental. So I had a notebook, you had the planner, you had your laptop, you had all of that, carrying around to everything, right? I
mm,
said, we need a way to put it all together. So you need a system. You need a system because what like it's I have a little poster in my office, but did you document it? Right? What's documented is what's remembered, or it says that it happened, right?
mm.
And then once you document it, where is it? So it's like I couldn't keep a notebook plus a laptop plus my planner.
Yes.
It has to be in one place. So now, regardless of what question you ask me, I'm going back to my blueprint to find my answer, right? All right, here we go. And I'm going to my blueprint to plot out those next steps, right? Just so that I have. So you definitely need a system. You have to be open. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. That's how we grow. So if I'm not okay, that comes through reflection too. Okay, because it says what went well this week, what didn't go well. Got to be honest with yourself on what didn't go well. What can I do to fix that? Or what can I do to support my teacher to help that? Like, what can I do how can I make that better? Because it's not always about, oh, that teacher didn't do this or oh, those students should. No, what can I do to help this situation so that so our teachers can teach and our students can learn? So you need that reflection. So that's why those reflection pages and those reflection points are key. Because even in the blueprint, it says, what teachers need my attention this week? And I'm not talking about negative attention. It could be a teacher you see that's struggling. They might need some extra encouragement one week, right? I had a teacher last year who she was crying weekly, like she was going to quit. And I just kept
Wow.
working with her. I allowed her to be vulnerable. It wasn't an aha, I got you, like, but I just kept making sure I checked in with her every so often. We sat down and went over one section of the curriculum, and I think that I'm not gonna say we glossed over before, but whatever we went over that day was a light switch for her. And she went from getting ready to quit by Christmas to being recognized in the district as a model classroom. So
Wow.
it's those kinds of things. And when you're when you have a staff of 80 in a building of 300 to 500 kids, you can forget those. So you can
Yes.
overlook some things, right? Or some
Yes.
people, but we can't. So that's why like those pages are important. Like, who do I need to see? Who's my extra love student this week? You know, like
Yes.
who's acting out a little more than normal? Check in with it, like, and it's just keeping certain people, well, not certain people, it's just keeping those people on your radar because yeah, the one that's sitting there who's doing everything right, that they may get everything, but that child does not. What do I need to do? And we can't wait until now it's escalated up here, right? But like, you just want to keep a pulse of what's going on in the building. You want to remain visible. You want to, reflection is key, being open is key, and it's okay not to be okay sometimes because we don't
Mm.
know what we don't know until we don't know it, right? So we have to
Mm.
remain open so that we can know it and get in front of it.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you so much, Kelly, for really reminding us that effective leadership is not only about doing everything. I love that about what you said. It's not about doing everything, it's about knowing what matters and
Mhm.
mostly creating a system that allow us to lead it well. So I love that because your leadership is really a blueprint is about really helping people to be more organized and also to reflect on their journey and
Mhm.
all of that, as you said, we have so many things in their people have so many educators or assistant people have so many things in their mind, but the whole point is about allowing them to find a strategy that works with them and that they
Absolutely.
can work with on purpose, in purpose, and they cannot do everything alone. So that blueprint is a way to remind them, okay, you can use that blueprint to really write down your note, pause, reflect, and it's all about one day at a time. So I love that, you help them use that calendar, use that blueprint to help them understand the year, understand themselves, and also make a bigger impact in their classroom and wherever they are in their school community. So I thank
Absolutely.
you for everything. Anyone listening to us, make sure that you join the community to help you build your purpose-led business because we want to also help you to digitalize your years of experience in the classroom into a purpose-led business. So don't forget to comment, to like, to share. Thank you so much
All right, and they can
for
find it.
joining. I really appreciate you. You want to share something else? You want
I
to
was
say
going to say they
more?
can find the My Leadership Blueprint on
Oh,
Amazon.
yes.
They can find
Yes,
it
on
on
Amazon.
Amazon.
You will give me the link. You will give me the link. I will put it in the description and they can connect with you as well.
All right,
So
thank you.
I leave you with that, everyone. Great leadership isn't measured by how much you carry, it is measured by how intentional you lead with what matters most. So thank you, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Thank you, Kelly, for joining
Thank
us
you for having me.
today.
Hmm